It was Krishna who had signed the peace treaty with Britain's king and also the French king for the American freedom and independence. I was very well respected in Britain because was also a scientist. I had done some very good new scientific discoveries, and I was also very well respected in France. The king in France was particularly impressed with my discoveries. I was also made the member of the Royal Society in London. I was awarded numerous degrees in London. I think it was at Oxford, there was one in Scotland, and also at Harvard in America, and a few others. I got multiple degrees. Then they awarded me for all my work. So I knew a lot of top British politicians, as well as scientists, as well as the king of Britain then. But it was not an easy battle to achieve the freedom for America. I had to fight. Word had spread in America of my heroic stand in London, how I single-handedly stood up for America in the British Parliament despite all the insults, and how I withstood the entire onslaught in the British Parliament when I had learned my lesson of silence. And I returned back to America when I realized that fighting was the only option, and to defeat British army is not an easy thing, because on one side I did not want to fight the British because they were also very good. They're very, very good for many, many things, and very good in America. But also at the same time, America needed to retain its freedom. America was very divided then. It had two factions which were fighting among themselves, the North and the South, or what I call the Republicans on one side and the Confederates on the other side. And they didn't want to change at all. And I wanted to bring out the revolution with the abolition of slavery, because I had come back from London where Wilberforce was in the process of abolishing the slavery. But it was not abolished when I had returned back to America and Philadelphia, where I had continued the epic independence struggle. George Washington again was short of finance. I was the one who had paid monies because I was quite well off with the work which I did in Philadelphia, and I was well respected everywhere in Philadelphia, everywhere in the monarchy, and everywhere in the hierarchy. And that is why they had asked me to become the first president of America. Philadelphia was the capital of America. Washington was not the capital then. It's only after I passed away that the whole emphasis then shifted, and other aspect of the battle continued until the slavery was abolished in 1865 by Abraham Lincoln. Now when America is celebrating 250 years of its revolution, it has forgotten the pioneer freedom fighter and how everything had begun, and how a single person had stood up and fought most of the time and achieved maximum success. But that has all been forgotten because that all happened in Philadelphia, not in Washington. Washington came much later. This video is a timely reminder for Americans to remember their true history and the beginning, which was the most difficult aspect of the independence and the freedom fight. By Krishna. Krishna alone stood 10 feet tall against all the opposition to achieve the victory. Krishna had one thing which none of the freedom fighters had. Krishna had the ultimate faith in God. All the others were believers in Jesus Christ. And there's more details about that which I'll reveal one day about Christianity.